And I wanted to kind of let you all know a little bit of my story and why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I am at the point where I am with myself. And I wanted to talk to the people who are thinking about leaving corporate America, the people who are afraid to leave corporate America, or you are right at the brink where you're wanting to jump into entrepreneurship, or you're wanting to make a big leap and you are still finding yourself. So when you get to the point where you want to make that big leap and you want to find yourself and you want to go out and do something that you haven't been doing before, it requires you. My number one piece of advice is to do you. Do you, do you, do you. Yes. All right, congratulations. June 15 is your quit day. Yes, that's a good goal. And here's what I say. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to tell you the quick version of my story, but the first, I was in IT, and I was always the youngest girl, the youngest person, the only woman, and the only black. Okay, 3 strikes. I was 20 years old when I started, and I was working in New York for this big bank, this big investment bank. And the entire team was remote, meaning the client hired us, but we all worked in our separate offices. And once a month, we would go and meet the client at their headquarters. And so I was on this big team, youngest, only black, only woman. And it was my turn. I was the project manager assistant. This was very early in my career, and it was my turn to attend this big meeting. And it's a huge thing when you go meet the clients. And so we go up to like the 60th floor. This is in Manhattan. I was traveling back and forth from Dallas to Manhattan every week and just living a life. I was staying at the Intercontinental and walking to Times Square. I mean, I was just excited that I went to school, got my degree, and I was finally in my field. Well, we get to this meeting. I was on the project for about a month. No, maybe 2 months. We have our first client meeting where we put names to faces. So remember, this is a remote contract. Everyone is in different cities, and every so often we meet together. So my name is Terry. It's very neutral. You don't know if I'm a man or a woman. You don't know anything about me. And the point of this meeting was that we could meet the people behind the names across these emails. My name was a very popular name because I assisted the project manager, and so I was the one doing a lot of the communication with these big executives. So everyone knew the name Terry because I was the one bugging them to turn in their reports or to do X, Y, Z. So we get to the meeting, and it's about 30 people around this huge executive table. We're on the 60th floor. And everyone introduces, oh, you're Terry, oh, you're Mike, oh, you're John, oh, you're Sally. And the meeting went fine. It was just sort of a meet and greet and some high-level executive reports, and that was it. I played no role in the meeting. I just played the background. So we get back to the office, and my boss at the time, she was an Indian lady, and we get back to the office. Within an hour, she walks up to my desk, and I'm looking at her face, and she looks horrified. She looks just sick to her stomach, and she's looking at me like she doesn't even want to come talk to me, but she does anyway. And she gets to me, and she says, I have some news for you. The client decided that they want to replace you with someone that lives in New York and not someone that they have to pay for their travel. Now, mind you, the whole team traveled. So I said, okay. I said, so do I finish the week out? And she said, no, you can leave now. You're done now. So within an hour of this meeting, after them putting the face behind the name, I was let go. And when she told me this, that explained her expression. That explained, we both knew why. We both knew why. In that moment is when I made a mistake, okay? I decided that I was going to mold myself into what was acceptable so that I could be successful in my career. And so for the next almost 10 years, that's what I did, because it was like touching fire. If you touch fire and it burns you, you're going to say, I'm never going to touch that fire again, right? So I felt like, okay, I have to water down my blackness. I have to be what they expect me to be so that my intelligence is what they see and not me. And I was young. I was 20, 21 years old, and so I did that. And I even, let me tell you how far I went. I wouldn't wear dangling earrings. I had rules for myself. I wouldn't buy dangling earrings. I had 2 sets of jeans, 2 sets of clothes. I had a set of jeans from Old Navy because they don't really fit you right. They don't show your shape. And I had my real jeans. So I wore the Old Navy jeans to work with cardigans and no earrings and no accessories and straight hair. I would never change my hair. I mean, I did everything. I have a silly, goofy personality. I watered myself down, okay, to fit into this mold. And you know what happened? I lost myself. I lost myself. By the end of that 8, 9 years, I lost myself because I spent so much time trying to mold myself, and then I wasn't happy because I attracted all of these, I was progressing, I was getting promotions, and I had formed relationships, but they weren't based off of who I was. They were based off of the presentation that I decided to give them. So it never fulfilled me. Don't tell me you're crying, Nikki. I'm a crybaby. You're going to make me cry. It never fulfilled me. And I turned into a zombie, and that can only last for so long. It can only last for so long before God starts tugging on you and he says, I need you to come out of your box, because I could never be who I wanted to be if I kept doing that. And so when I decided to be an entrepreneur, my first step wasn't getting an LLC. My first step wasn't deciding to write a business plan. My first step wasn't even deciding a business name. My first step was to figure out who I was, who I wanted to be, and who I wanted to attract. That is your first step. Okay, that is your first step. And I said that I will be damned if I create a business that I cannot be myself. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to talk how I want to talk. I'm going to dress how I want to dress. I'm going to do what I want to do. And whoever likes me is who I'm going to attract. And that's why it's so easy for me to get up here and talk, because I don't have to think about it. I don't have to say, okay, what do they like so I can talk about what they like today? Well, how do they like me to dress so I can dress how they want me to dress today? I don't have to do that, because I stepped out here and I became me. I became me. And the reason why we are connecting, and the reason why you say what you say in your comments, and the reason why we have a kindred relationship and I don't even know you, is because I put out the raw me, and I only put out what I was trying to attract. And so I attracted the people that had the rawness, the kindred spirit that I have. So when I get up here, I'm not afraid, I'm not nervous, because I know you guys accept Terry. You accept Terry Chantel because that's all I gave you. And you keep watching, and you keep liking, and you keep commenting. And so it's easy. And when you're yourself, it's easy. I promise you, be yourself. Do not mold yourself to be what somebody else wants you to be just because you think that's the formula. No, the formula is the formula that you create. That's the formula. You create the formula and they will come. That is your first step. Be yourself. Be yourself. Do you. Be unapologetically shameless, okay, about being you. And you are going to attract the people that want you for you. And that goes for every area in life while we're talking about it, okay? Do you. Be shameless and do you. Don't ever be the person that puts themselves in a box to make somebody else comfortable. That's all I have. I'm going to my football game. I enjoyed talking to you all, and I will talk to you next time. I made it without crying. Talk to you next time. Bye.